There are plenty of transactions to talk about. It's been a busy last couple of days for the Miami Marlins. I'm going to break it all down on today's show.
You are Locked On Marlins, your daily podcast on the Miami Marlins.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome into Locked On Marlins. This is a live edition of the show. Feel free to post your comments. I'm going to get to them, talk about it. Any questions you got. This is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You can hit me up on X as well at Jeremiah Geiger 2. Thank you for listening and watching, and go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. On today's show, this live edition of Locked On Marlins, I'm going to break down all these transactions. We had Pauley optioned, Matt Marvis and Ronny Simon designated for assignment, and then some surprising call-ups that have to be talked about. Heriberto Hernandez, what a shocker. He is called up to the Marlins, and he is in the starting lineup and hitting second for his Major League debut. Jack Winkler called up. No Troy Johnston, though. No Troy. We have to talk about that. But before I get into it all, I have to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So go check that out. So it started yesterday. Pauley optioned to AAA Jacksonville. Let's be honest, it was due. It was time for Pauley to go back to the minor leagues, reset, and get consistent playing time. That was something that the Marlins really struggled incorporating Pauley into the plan once Connor Norby returned from injury. He wasn't supposed to make the opening day roster, to be honest with you, and really was just on the team, on the 26-man, because of Connor Norby starting the season on the injured list. Norby returns, and Pauley's role immediately diminished. I mean, he wasn't getting the at-bats, the development needed at the major league level. But it's almost June. It's May 30th, and he's been on the major league roster. There was a time he got optioned down, quickly called back up. But I think it's good for Pauley and his development as a baseball player to reset in the minor leagues, get everyday playing time. We know the defense is good. I personally really like the swing. I think the swing looks good from an eye test. The production just wasn't there. He's not a prospect that's going to be on the top prospect rankings, but he is somebody that can be a major leaguer and get playing time. Just needs to continue his progression. It's not always linear. It's not point A to point B. So Pauley, there's plenty of time with him. He's still young to not give up on a player like that. But there wasn't a corresponding move for that transaction yet. So the big news of the day, and this is where we really get into the meat of the argument here, of the conversation. Matt Marvis, Ronny Simon, both DFA'd. Both of them. Matt Marvis, if you've watched the show, listened to the show, you know how I felt about the Matt Marvis situation. It was time. It was time to cut your losses, admit the experiment ended, and move on. There was no point in trying to force something that wasn't working. Matt Marvis wasn't working. He might be a great guy in the locker room. I feel for him because I want him to succeed. But when you're hitting under the Mendoza line, when you're hitting 175 with 7 bombs, yeah, the bombs were great at the beginning of the year, but when's the last time you hit a home run? A month and a half ago? It's been a while. It's just every at-bat was uncompetitive. It felt like too many strikeouts. And sadly, they had to DFA him. There wasn't a role on this roster for him moving forward. And what's up, Rob? Thank you. Thank you for the words. Keep up the great work. Go Fish. Yes, that's right. Go Fish. Always go Marlins. So Marvis is gone. He's gonna go through the process. I would be surprised if another team doesn't try to submit a claim for him and pick him up. I don't know. I don't think they can trade him. He'll go through waivers if they don't trade him. Maybe someone picks him up. You never know. I want the best for him, but it's not going to be as a Marlin. And this was his second stint in the majors. He had opportunities with the Cubs. This was a change of scenery guy, and it didn't work out. LMF, the Monday podcaster, LMF in the house. Yes, sir. We're talking some transactions. There's a lot to get into, guys. A lot to talk about. To finish the book on Matt Marvis, this isn't something personal. It's not that I wish failure on Matt. I think he was an exciting player when we acquired him. We traded Vidal Brujan. Brujan was terrible last season. Don't even get me started on Vidal Brujan. He was not a Major League Baseball player. At least you had an opportunity given to Matt Marvis. Hey, maybe it works out. The power's there. That power is legit. Some of those bombs he hit, I mean, they were crushed. And unfortunately, he just couldn't stay consistent. I thought it was at the beginning of the year. I even said Matt Marvis is a legit Major League player, and then the wheels fell off, and his production just took a nosedive straight into the Atlantic Ocean. And that's baseball for you. We've seen it so many times with Marlins players over the years. I mean, how many times did we sit there and look at Lewis Brinson and say, oh, the tools are there as long as he puts it together, and he never did. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of the game. Some players will never put it together and become the player that you want them to be. Ronny Simon. Oh, man. Where do I start with this? How do you guys feel about Ronny Simon? Because my heart broke watching that. The other night, 3 errors. He's worked his whole life to become a major leaguer. And he makes 3 unfortunate errors in the field and gets DFA'd a couple days later. Like, gosh, that's so rough. You know, it's business. It's the nature of the game. He had options, but the issue was there was just no major league ready middle infielder on the 40-man roster. Max Acosta's just not there yet, so they couldn't have optioned him. He had to be DFA'd. The production wasn't there. I just loved watching the joy he played in a Marlins uniform. Last year, I saw him when he was playing for the Durham Bulls, and that's where I noticed him. And then when we acquired him from Tampa, the minor league free agent, non-roster invitee, I was like, yo, it's Ronny Simon. I remember that guy. And I love that he played with a smile on his face and brought joy to the team. He plays with a lot of emotion, as you can see. He cared. He didn't want those errors to happen. He was doing his best out there, but sometimes it's just not your night. And the Marlins let him go. That's painful. That is painful to really close the book on Simon's Marlins career. You know, if he goes through waivers, whether he gets picked up, if he stays in the org, he's going to be outrighted to AAA, and he'll get some playing time down there. That's right, Danny. It does hurt. My heart goes out to him as well. And Nick, make sure to do more live shows in the future. It is. These live shows are fun. I think I'm going to do some more of these. Hit me up on X. Let me know. We're going to get a schedule going because these live shows are fun. This is the second one I've done this season, but it is fun to talk about. Now, for the call-ups, Heriberto Hernandez, I broke that news this morning that he was going to be called up. That surprised me. I did not expect Heriberto Hernandez's name to be mentioned in getting the call-up and then being in the Marlins lineup on Friday night. Jack Winkler as well. Didn't expect that. I'm happy for both of them. It's awesome to see these guys get the opportunity to play Major League Baseball. It's the dream of everybody that grows up playing the game. So I'm happy for them. I'm going to talk more about them and what to expect for them as players. That's going to come up right after this. This episode is brought to you by Trade Coffee. Let's be real. Coffee isn't just a drink. It's a ritual. It's a lifeline. It's the thing that gets you up in the morning and carries you throughout your day. I know that because my sister loves coffee. Every once in a while, I love some coffee. And why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over artist, they've got a roast you love. Now, I took their quiz. It's online. It only took a minute, and they sent me a personalized bag of coffee. This is Sightseer coffee, and the flavor, get this, rich chocolate, cinnamon, toffee. I mean, that sounds delicious. It smells incredible. And that's really what I wanted out of the coffee. When I put in the quiz, I said I want something sweet. And if you don't like what you get, the first match isn't perfect, they'll replace it for free until they get it just right. That's how much they care about you and your product. But this one right here, this one smells amazing. I mean, I wanted to eat the coffee beans. It smells really good. So Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off a 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. If you want to try some great Trade coffee, go check that out. It's trade.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. Appreciate all the everyday listeners out there who are part of the Locked On Marlins crew. It is not taken for granted. And if this is your first episode that you're watching, this live edition of Locked On Marlins, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and feel free, comment in the chat as we continue rolling along. I got this comment, Marco Castillo. I can't believe they didn't call up Troy. I was fully 100% expecting him to be the corresponding move to fill in the roster spot emptied by Marvis. Danny is surprised as well. More about Troy later, guys, because I'm upset that Troy wasn't called up. Like, I'm going to say that right now. Full transparency, Troy Johnston should have been called up. No ifs and buts about it. He deserved it. He earned it. There's nothing else he could have done. And it's just baffling that he hasn't been given a shot. But let's talk about Heriberto Hernandez really quick. So Heriberto Hernandez signs with the Marlins this offseason as a minor league free agent. So he spent his whole career in the minors with the Rays organization, signs with the Marlins, comes to big league camp as a non-roster invitee. And he did okay. You saw the power. That's the thing with Hernandez. It's kind of a true 3-outcome guy. He's going to hit a lot of homers. He's going to strike out a ton. He's got a 35% strikeout rate, and he'll walk. His numbers right now in AAA. He's hitting .220 on the season, OBP of .319, OPS .773, 9 homers, and he plays the outfield, and he also will be a DH. So Hernandez gets called up. It felt like just he didn't really earn it. You know, Hernandez, like, yeah, he had a decent season, but he's struggling right now. His average on the year is .220. Yeah, he provides some pop, but Troy Johnston is a more complete player. They're both limited defensively, but Troy Johnston, I think, is a better hitter overall and has done it for longer in this organization. And there was just no loyalty with Troy Johnston. No, you've been here a while. You know, you've earned this turn with Matt Marvis going down. We need somebody who can play first base. Troy Johnston is a first baseman, and it never happened. That opportunity just didn't happen. The Marlins go with Heriberto Hernandez. I'm happy for Heriberto. I hope it works out. I don't know how long he's going to be in the majors, but I mean, I'm surprised. I really am, and I'm also I'm disappointed that Troy didn't get it. Jack Winkler. Winkler's been hitting really well this season. He was a minor league Rule 5 draft pick. So the major leagues have a Rule 5 draft, and that's where the Marlins acquired Liam Hicks from the Detroit Tigers organization. But on the flip side of things, you also have a minor league Rule 5. And that's where Jack Winkler entered the Marlins organization. He's hitting .275, OBP .331, OPS .754. And the important thing to note with Jack, he can play all over the infield. This season, he split time at shortstop, third base, and second base. And when Ronny Simon was DFA'd, that's kind of what you needed. A guy who can be versatile, especially with X still on not on the injured list. Well, yeah, on the injured list, waiting to come back from his rehab assignment. So maybe Jack isn't up here too long. It makes a lot of sense just for this weekend that Winkler gets the opportunity, provides some depth, and then X replaces him. X slides to second base. Thank goodness. And Otto goes to shortstop. But it's great for Winkler and the Marlins this weekend. You needed somebody who can play all over the infield. Once Simon was gone, then, you got options. You can put him at shortstop. You could put him at second. You could put him at third. He's kind of a jack of all trades. No pun intended there. But yeah, Winkler, really, he's underrated performer in AAA. Kind of reminds me of Troy Johnston in the sense that he hits, and he's hit a lot this season. I think Johnson is a better hitter, though. But those are the two main call-ups that really surprised me. The Heriberto Hernandez one, I think that I'm still kind of at a loss for words to justify choosing him over Troy Johnston. Let me know. Adam Tapper, what more does Troy have to do before he gets called up? He's a legend, and we need him, and he will be a solid first base. Adam, I have no doubt that Troy Johnston would come up here and hit. He'd be a better player than Matt Marvis would. And when Marvis got DFA'd, the writing was on the wall. The signs were there that, hey, Marvis is going to eventually lose his role on this team. This is the opportunity for Troy. And they go with Heriberto Hernandez. He is a legend. Troy works hard. He battles up there. The question, though, what more does he have to do? This is going to sound grim, Adam, but really nothing. There's nothing else Troy can do. If he homers every game the rest of the year, the rest of the next 2 months, hits like 550 and goes on a Barry Bonds tour, maybe. But realistically, it would take an injury. It would take Eric Wagaman to get seriously hurt, something like that, where they lose a lot of depth at first base. Because here's the thing, Liam Hicks, he's taking grounders. He's getting practice at first. He's also had first base experience. So Liam Hicks can slide over to first base if Wagaman isn't playing. So that's what I expect it to be. Eric Wagaman, the primary first baseman. Liam Hicks is going to get some first base reps as well. And that's what they want to go with. They don't want to give Troy a shot. It's a shame. There is Dane Myers is returning also. Dane Myers reinstated off the injured list. He's been awesome to start this season. What a breakout season for Dane. The great Dane. Man, he's a great hitter. Converted pitcher, by the way. For those of you on the live stream that didn't know that or listening after, Dane Myers is a converted pitcher. He was a college pitcher, and the Tigers ended up converting him into a position player. And that's where you see that arm shine from center field. Absolute cannon. Cannon of an arm. William Corpus, I'm so happy to see Otto Lopez at shortstop. I feel he's been our first real shortstop since Miguel Rojas. Defensively, William, you're right. Otto Lopez is a great defender. I think it was the best decision for everybody involved. Xavier Edwards, Otto Lopez, and the Marlins. It needed to happen. Otto has to be the shortstop for the time being. And if he hits enough, he can be there for a while. Still waiting to see that bat get going. I liked what I saw last year in the beginning of the year. I think that injury had something to do with it as well. A big 3-run home run in the San Diego Padres series. I like Otto Lopez. I'm going to keep rooting for him. But you had to make that move. Carmelo, sad for Simon. Yeah, me too, man. It's one of those cases where you understand sports is a business, but it sucks just the same. Even with the options that he had, they just didn't have the roster flexibility because nobody on the 40-man was ready. If Max Acosta let's say Max Acosta continued a great spring training into the first couple months of the season, maybe the Marlins pull the trigger on that and option Simon. Instead, they're going to DFA him. And like I said, when you go into DFA limbo, you are essentially offered to every other team. You could get traded. They could trade him for cash considerations, or he goes through waivers, and then you just have to clear waivers in order just to stay in the Marlins organization. But at that point, you're going to be off the 30-man or 40-man roster. I just hate that he went out like that. Really deserved the better ending to his first stint in the major leagues. Ronny, I hope with everything I got that you find a way to carve yourself a solid major league career, whether it's with the Marlins or another team. I'm always going to be rooting for that guy. That guy cares. Coming up next, we're going to preview the Giants series and wrap up the breakdown of all these transactions. That's coming up right after this. Get supplies you need. Supply House gotcha. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their website is super easy to use, and it provides all the latest information on all their products. So you're not going to feel lost when you're trying to search for what you need. And here's the best part. They got everything. 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. And when you order, it's going to be delivered fast, and it's coast to coast. There's no giant waits. You got to wait 2-3 months. No, they're on their game. If you need help at all with an order, you're confused about something, you just want to reach out, you call them. You don't got to talk to a robot. You can talk to a real person. I love talking to real people, not robots. Robots are so annoying because Supply House takes pride in their expert support and industry-leading service. And if you're a professional, you're a trade professional, you're a carpenter, you're one of these guys, a plumber that wants to get that extra edge, or you know somebody that does, share Supply House with them because they offer exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every single order. So use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies. That's supplyhouse.com. A reminder for Locked On Marlins, it's not just the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, but Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, everything out there, all the major podcast platforms. Locked On Marlins is with you Monday through Friday. Let's talk about this Giants series. The Giants are a hot team, guys. This team is a good one. You got back-to-back. Can you believe that? Back-to-back NL West opponents. Padres, Giants, Rockies. Giants are coming into town, so they got to make that long flight all the way across the country. They're going to be jet lagged. You got to take advantage of that on Friday night. But the pitching matchups, this is what most intrigues me. Thankfully, you don't got to see Logan Webb. Logan Webb's an absolute dog. And he's one of the best pitchers in the National League, but you do got to face Robbie Ray. Danny, that's right. They are no joke. Hot streak they got going. You know, they slipped up a little bit against Detroit, but overall, their pitching is really, really good. And Camilo Doval is the new Marlins or Giants closer. And he's nasty, throws really hard. So you want to get a lead. You don't want to be behind in the 8th or 9th inning. But like I said, they don't have to face Logan Webb. Robbie Ray is the best starter. You're going to face that Saturday. And then Hayden Birdsong, young pitcher. He's talented, throws really hard. He's going to be your starter for the Giants on Sunday. And for the Marlins, your 3 starters, Friday through Sunday, you have Edward Cabrera. You have Cal Quantrill, Edward Cabrera, Ryan Weathers. Adam, time to put the hard hats on and get the win. Absolutely. Let's go out and battle. That's what it's all about. This team is going to compete. They're going to be competitive. I expect a battle. I expect this team to not roll over, especially with all these new transactions. If Jack Winkler gets in the game, he's going to play with his hair on fire. I guarantee you that. Heriberto Hernandez, the same thing. and Victor Mesa Jr. as well, his home park debut. Thank you, Rob. Super excited for him as well. Victor Mesa Jr., he's earned an opportunity in the major leagues, and hopefully he has a good series in front of the Lone Depot Park crowd. It's a beautiful ballpark. If you can, get there and watch a couple of these games. It's gonna be a fun series. I grew up and I never really liked the Giants. My cousin's a Giants fan, so it's kind of, and I talk to him on the phone a lot. We play fantasy baseball. I want to beat these guys, even if our record's 10 games under 500. It doesn't matter. I always want to win. It's not about losing. No losing mentality on the Locked On Marlins podcast. Locked On Marlins podcast, we have 2 rules. It's winning mentality, and you tell it how it is. And that's what I try to do every episode. Jared, I remember watching Alex Gonzalez and Luis Castillo turn all those double plays. I think they had a few years when the Marlins were top 5 in all of Major League Baseball. They were great. It was a little bit before my time, but I've watched highlights. Luis Castillo is one of the best Marlins of all time. Alex Gonzalez, actually, you can see behind me there, that is a bat, a Luis Gonzalez or Alex Gonzalez bat, game used bat. It's got a crack in it. It's one of my collectibles I like putting up on the shelf for the studio. So the big keys for this weekend series for the Marlins, Edward Cabrera. I'm watching him. I am watching him. How does he continue to attack hitters? Not be passive. Don't pitch passively, but be aggressive. The start against the Angels last weekend was out of this world. He was dialed in from start to finish. He was locating his pitches so well. Can he do that against the scuffling Giants lineup? This Giants lineup isn't going to strike fear in the hearts of a lot of pitchers, but they got some dudes. Matt Chapman, dude. Heliot Ramos, he can get hot. These Giants are a good team. Edward Cabrera, it's been a month of really good starts in the month of May. Can he close it out? Can he close out one of the best months that he's ever pitched with a victory and a really solid performance against a good team? That's absolutely right. You need another big pitching performance from Cabrera. You need that dominance once more. I've been hesitant. If you guys watch the podcast, you know I've been hesitant to go all on Edward Cabrera. Danny says fingers crossed. That's right, because I've seen it time and time again. He shows signs of brilliance, signs of dominance. He's put it all together, and then it just comes crashing down, and you have the 95 pitch start through 4 innings, and you walk 4 or 5 batters, even though you strike out 6, and the stuff is immaculate. It's not controlled. That's the issue. So that's the big one. How does Cal Quantrill respond? How does he perform this weekend? You know, he's the Marlins free agent signing, the lone free agent signing. So you want to see some big things out of him. And then Ryan Weathers. Ryan Weathers might have the highest ceiling of anyone on the Marlins pitching staff right now. I truly think Ryan Weathers can be a breakout player or pitcher like Jesus Luzardo was last year or this year for the Phillies. He's that good. As long as he's healthy, that's the key. As long as he's healthy and he commands the zone, like he did against the Cubs and the Padres, he attacked hitters. You have to attack hitters. And how about the umpires? Hopefully the umpires don't screw over the Marlins in this series. Has it felt to you guys like the umpiring against the Marlins has been really poor? Because that's how it's felt to me. I'm biased, of course, but there's multiple pitches where it's a strike and it's called a ball. And that's what happened to Ryan Weathers his last outing against San Diego. He ended up walking 3. It should not have been 3. He should have got through that inning without those walks. But it's going to be a fun series. Oh, yeah, the White Sox umpiring was horrible. That was horrible. It makes me wonder, when is Clayton McCullough going to get ejected? When is he going to stand up and just let the umpires have it? I'm talking like Aaron Boone with the Yankees. You see those John Boy breakdowns where Aaron Boone, he goes out there and he just unleashes hell. I'm waiting for the Clayton McCullough first ejection. Not that I want him to get ejected, or I want him to cause problems, but it's baseball. It's standing up for your guys for the correct call. It's going to happen eventually. Maybe it's this series. You never know. Jared, I think the pressure is on Cabrera. He knows the money is not going to be there if he doesn't do well this year. So Cabrera is in arbitration, right? So he's not making a ton of money, but he's pocketing a few million. He's been around the block now. He's a veteran of this Marlins pitching staff. He's somebody that fascinates me because as a Marlins fan, I've watched him for 5 seasons. I don't see long-term building block starting pitcher. I just don't. Even with a good month. I think he can be an absolute weapon long-term as a reliever because his stuff is that good, or he's a good trade candidate. If he continues to pitch well, I think you try to flip him at the deadline because there's going to be a team out there that looks at the changeup, looks at the fastball and the slider and says, wow, this guy is a legit arm. And they haven't dealt with the last 5 years of the inconsistencies. But Cabrera, the pressure is there. If he goes to the bullpen, Adam, he might dominate. I think he would. I think he could. I think of Jeff Hoffman. Jeff Hoffman was a former draft pick of the Rockies. Didn't work out, was horrible. I mean, like most starters are for Colorado. And he ends up getting converted to a reliever, goes to the Reds, the Phillies, and signs the deal. He's the Blue Jays closer. It happens. This thing happens. It's not that wild of a possibility where Cabrera couldn't be a successful reliever. I just don't think he's a long-term starter. I can't see him pitching under 3 ERA the rest of the season because that's what he's done in the month of May. It's been under 3. It's 2.5, something like that. But no, it's been a really good stretch for him. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up today's live edition of Locked on Marlins. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Share the podcast with your friends. Let me know in the comments section. Join me, as always, Monday through Friday, listening, watching the show. Glad to have you on. And for your second listen of the day, go check out the new Locked on MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, they do a recap on the Locked on MLB channel. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay locked on, and let's go fish.